Hey, all, welcome back to another Everyday Wholeness show where my great, wonderful, fantabulous, beautiful friend, Janet Uribe, and myself, Karen Stultz, help you to experience and enjoy and honor the wholeness that is you. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about how others can help us be whole, as well as honoring the wholeness that others have. So, hey, Janet, how are you today?
Hey, my friend, I am great. How are you doing?
Awesome. You look fantabulous. Come on over to YouTube and check this beautiful lady out.
Thank you. Well, a moment ago, I made Karen put us on pause. It's like, girl, I gotta go change my shirt. It is hot. It is like 104 degrees in Austin and humid. So we can usually handle heat, but not the combination of humidity and heat. Are you guys ready for this?
Uh-oh. All right. When Janet starts saying stuff like that, we have to be open to our wholeness.
Yeah, I always giggle because when we're talking about what the topic's going to be, we usually channel the topic or ask for guidance on it. And what comes in is usually such a nice little boop on the face. Oh, bee slap sometimes.
And don't we love it? I mean, really, we've gotten to a point now that we recognize it for what it is. It's a loving get in line, just like a wonderful parent might be there to love their kids unconditionally, no matter what, even if they are being total jerks, but they will help us see if we are open to that scene of wholeness.
Oh my gosh, yes. And friends, today's episode really about, how are you allowing others to show up as themselves?
Oh, I love it. I do love it.
So when we're talking about that topic, it's fascinating because I can almost guarantee you, if you are having trouble with someone showing up as they are in their personality, in their characteristics, in their habitual patterns, in the way that they are, or the way that they are presenting at that time in their life, then I can almost promise you, really, you're not comfortable with showing up as you are. And you very likely may not be showing up as you are, who you are, authentically at the core of your being. Because if you were, then the others before you would not necessarily trigger, complicate, and frustrate you. You would accept them wholly as they are. So I guess the big question here, my friend Karen, is where are we not wholly accepting ourselves?
It is, because life is a mirror, right? Life is a mirror. And it took me a long time to get to that place. And heaven knows I still have trouble with it upon occasion. But it is so satisfying when those triggers that might have triggered you, because you recognize that there was something in you and that you have looked at what it is inside of you that has created this angst, perhaps, and you've honored it, and you've come to an understanding, so to speak, and learned from it. It's all about the awareness and the allowing of what the learning is, so that we can move forward and really be bold. It's funny you said that. The other day I had someone, I put something out on Facebook, and there was a response, and I said, well, you know what, I'm having this believe in yourself. And I'll tell you what it was. It was just a little silly post. It was, life is too short not to believe in yourself or drink bad wine. So, and I do believe that. So anyway, I ended up getting this answer of, well, I don't drink, but believing in myself is something that's a little challenging. And I messaged her back and said, well, did you know about the, I'm sure you didn't because I haven't advertised it, the Believe in Yourself 5-day challenge that I'm offering. And come on the wait list if you are interested. That was it. She was so angry. She messaged me and said, why did you do that? I was just trying to support you by putting something down in your comments, and you trying to sell me something. You're trying to put me through a funnel. This is disgraceful. And I thought, all right, let's look at this. Let's look at the intention behind the comment. Let's look at the intention behind the post. And I explained to her, I said, look, no, you mentioned exactly what this challenge is. So I made the offer. And if it's helpful, great. And if it isn't, that's fine. Not an issue. And she really continued on about that. It was very interesting, Janet. And so she said, well, okay. So how are you doing? And I said, I am doing awesome. I am awesome. And she wrote back, well, really? Well, how are you doing personally? I said, well, I'm doing awesome. No, that's business. What are you doing? And I said, well, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing in business, which makes me feel awesome. And my home life and my lifestyle is following suit. So how could I not feel awesome?
Yeah. And the difference there being, friends, why does Karen feel awesome versus me sometimes, who's like, I am not feeling awesome. I've got anxiety and I've got this going on and I roller coaster, is I oftentimes, and I'm sure Karen can relate to this too, find myself living my values, but then the values also in competition with the external needs of others all around me, because there's children. I work with children. There's their parents that are my clients. There's the external, there's mom groups, and there's community support, and there's your random family member that needs your support at that moment. And the thing is, it's not like I'm not happy to do those things, because I do have a servant's heart and I do love showing up for my friends, family, community, and so on. But sometimes I feel like I am not showing up as myself for me.
Yeah, because you're there being the person for everyone else. So it's very important to show up for you. But what I found interesting was we were not able to have a conversation, and I recognized exactly where it was coming from. And recognized as well that at this moment in time, there was nothing I could do to help.
Yeah.
And just honor the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's what we do need to do is recognize ourselves. And we're being triggered because there's something inside of us.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. And the thing is, friends, when you start to really show up as yourself, it's funny because I feel that I have so many clients that show up with very common stories of, I'm just looking for connection. I'm looking for true, authentic connectability with someone I can really relate to, someone that understands me, someone who is going to see me. But at the end of the day, that very client that I'm often working with, and one of them knows exactly who I'm talking about. Hey, and they don't mind because I asked for permission to use their information. Not their names.
Not their names.
How are you connecting with yourself? How are you showing yourself that relatability? How are you understanding who you are? How are you pursuing? Oh,
I
sorry.
apologize.
No worries. How are you pursuing yourself? And when you are validating yourself, pursuing self, loving self, acknowledging self, connecting with self, then it's actually not even possible to show up anymore with inauthenticity. It makes it difficult to show up in a way where you can't relate to another because you relate to your own self. So the depth that you have with self is the depth with which you will meet others and others will meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's really simple.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too, Janet, a lot of times I think, well, dang it, why don't you just tell me the truth that you are feeling miserable? Instead of, I'm fine. I'm fine. But I also honor the fact that it's me looking for something bad, and that's not really where I want to be right now. So I'm being honored as well by having them say, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really fascinating because every interaction serves that purpose. And when you think about it, when we're sitting here saying, how are you allowing others to show up as themselves? Very, very exact same thing, the mirror. That means where are you showing up for yourself and how so?
Yeah.
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 So, guys, go ahead and put stuff in the comments below and tell us, how are you showing up for yourself? How do you know that you're showing up for yourself and not somebody else necessarily?
It's a deep one, friends. Comes with tons of internal family systems.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong here. There really isn't.
There really isn't.
It's a case of just being aware of what it is and making the choice as to whether you want to continue this way or not. So as a reformed people pleaser and self-doubter, upon occasion, do I people please? You betcha. Does it take away from me because I'm now reformed? Sometimes a little bit. I could slide back into that, just like an addict. I could slide back into that, but I'd make it a point of recognizing I want to people please this person because I care about this person. I want to give them a good experience.
Yeah. So in that situation, I wouldn't even say that it's you're altering yourself at all. But really, in my opinion, this is more so like experiencing love languages with other individuals. One friend of mine may require validation and words of affirmation. Another one may require gifts. And if I'm taking them as an extension of myself and loving them as an extension of myself, then it's not a big deal for me to meet that for them. It really isn't.
And sometimes it's that bee slap across the face, right?
That's okay too when that happens because it gets my attention.
Yeah, I as a reform people as a people pleaser, it's very difficult to bring that out. And I just felt so awesome when I said to myself, I actually called that person out on their BS. How cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, she didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to hear it, but that's okay.
That's okay. And and I do the same thing. I'll call out BS and I'll do it from a place of I would want to be called out on my BS.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point.
And not everyone is ready for that. But then that just kind of dictates the level or caliber of relationship I'm ready for.
And it's also, yeah, it absolutely is. And the relationship that you might have. And if the other person recognizes that you're doing it from a place of love and ownership, honor them, respect them, let them grow, let them shine by honoring where they are now.
Agreed. I love that. Love that.
So how do you allow others to be bold for themselves?
And you're right. And it applies to what we preach every day, my friend. It is wholeness. Where they are, how they are at this very date and time is their wholeness. Where you are, how you are at this very date and time is yours.
Janet, I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank listeners for being here, for being part of our world. And please come to the Magical Tea Party. We would love to have you sign up for that. And the link for that is in the show notes below. So please come. We always love meeting new people, and be whole.
Thanks, friends.